Om Ajnana-timirandasya Kinangina Salakaya Sakshur Militanyena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gora Tuse Namaha. Vanchakalpa Tarupyascha Kripa Sindupya Evacha Patitanam Pavanepyo Vaishnavepyo Namo Namaha. Reading from Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta by Śrīla Kṛṣṇadāsa, Kavirāja Gosvāmī Maharaj, and the purport of Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. And we're still at our Madhya-līlā chapter 6, the liberation of Sarvabhauma Bhattācārya. Text 241. Then the Bhattācārya asked Caitanya Mahaprabhu, which item is most important in the execution of devotional service? The Lord replied that the most important item was the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Purport. There are 9 items to be executed in devotional service. These are enumerated in the following verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atma Nivedanam. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way. Purport. Because the people of this age are so fallen, they can simply chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. In this way they can rid themselves of the bodily conception of life and become eligible to engage in the Lord's devotional service. One cannot engage in the devotional service of the Lord without being purified of all contamination. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Persons who have acted piously in previous life and in this life, whose sinful activities are completely eradicated and who are freed from the duality of delusion, engage themselves in my service with determination. Sometimes people are surprised to see young men and women take so seriously to the Krishna consciousness movement. By giving up sinful activities, illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication and gambling, and strictly following the injunctions given by the spiritual master, they have become purified of all contamination. They can therefore fully engage in the devotional service of the Lord. In this age of Kali, Hari Kirtan is very, very important. The importance of chanting the holy name of the Lord is stated in the following verses from Srimad Bhagavatam. The most important factor in this age of Kali, which is an ocean of faults, is that one can be free from all contamination and become eligible to enter the kingdom of God simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. The self-realization that was achieved in the Satya millennium by meditation, in the Treta millennium by the performance of different sacrifices, and in the Dvapara millennium by worship of Lord Krishna, can be achieved in the age of Kali simply by chanting the holy names Hare Krishna. What do you say?
Can you say the Sanskrit on that one, on that verse?
Krite yat dvaivato vishnum tretayam yayato makai dvapare paricharyayam kalau tat dari kirtanat. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu very elaborately explained the Harinama verse of the Brihan Naradya Purana, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacārya was struck with wonder to hear his explanation. Gopinathacharya reminded Sarvabhauma Bhattacārya, "My dear Bhattacārya, what I foretold you has now taken place." Purport. Previously, Gopinathacharya had informed Sarvabhauma Bhattacārya that when he would be blessed by the Lord, he would thoroughly understand the transcendental process of devotional service. This prediction was now fulfilled. The Bhattacārya was fully converted to the cult of Vaishnavism, and he was following the principles automatically, without being pressured. In Bhagavad Gita 2.40, it is therefore said, Svapal ati asya dharmasya tatayate mahato bhayat. Simply by performing a little devotional service, one can escape the greatest danger. Sarvabhauma Bhattacārya had been in the greatest danger because he had adhered to Mayavadi philosophy. Somehow or other, he came into contact with Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and became a perfect devotee. In this way, he was saved from the great fall down by impersonalism. Offering his obeisances to Gopinathacharya, the Bhattacārya said, "Because I am related to you and you are a devotee, by your mercy the Lord has shown mercy to me. You are a first-class devotee, whereas I am in the darkness of logical arguments. Because of your relationship with the Lord has bestowed his benediction upon me." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased with this humble statement. After embracing the Bhattacārya, he said, "Now go see Lord Jagannath in the temple." After visiting the temple of Lord Jagannath, Sarvabhauma Bhattacārya returned home with Jagadananda and Damodar. The Bhattacārya brought large quantities of excellent food, remnants blessed by Lord Jagannath. All this prasadam was given to his own Brahmana servant, along with Jagadananda and Damodar. Sarvabhauma Bhattacārya then composed 2 verses on the leaf of a palm tree. Giving the palm leaf to Jagadananda Prabhu, he requested him to deliver it to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jagadananda and Damodar then returned to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, bringing him both the prasadam and the palm leaf on which the verses were composed. But Mukundadatta took the palm leaf from the hands of Jagadananda before he could deliver it to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mukundadatta then copied the 2 verses on the wall outside the room. After this, Jagadananda took the palm leaf from Mukundadatta and delivered it to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As soon as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu read the 2 verses, he immediately tore up the palm leaf. However, all the devotees read these verses on the outside wall, and they all kept themselves within their hearts. The verses read as follows: "Let me take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, who has descended in the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach us real knowledge, his devotional service and detachment from whatever does not foster Krishna consciousness. He has descended because he is the ocean of transcendental mercy. Let me surrender unto his lotus feet. Let my consciousness, which is like a honeybee, take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has just now appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to teach the ancient system of devotional service to himself. This system had almost been lost due to the influence of time." These 2 verses, composed by Sarvabhauma Bhattacārya, will always declare his name and fame as loudly as a pounding drum, because they have become pearl necklaces around the necks of all devotees. Indeed, Sarvabhauma Bhattacārya became an unalloyed devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He did not know anything but the service of the Lord. The Bhattacārya always chanted the holy names of Sri Krishna Chaitanya, son of Mother Sachi, and reservoir of all good qualities. Indeed, chanting the holy names became his meditation. One day Sarvabhauma Bhattācārya came before Caitanya Mahaprabhu and offering obeisances began to recite a verse. He began to quote one of Lord Brahma's prayers from Srimad Bhagavatam, but he changed 2 syllables at the end of the verse. The verse read, "One who seeks your compassion and thus tolerates all kinds of adverse conditions due to the karma of his past deeds, who engages always in your devotional service with his mind, words and body, and who always offers obeisances unto you, is certainly a bona fide candidate for becoming your unalloyed devotee." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately pointed out, in that verse the word is muktipade, but you have changed it to bhaktipade. What is your intention? Sarvabhauma Bhattacārya replied, "The awakening of pure love of Godhead, which is the result of devotional service, far surpasses liberation from material bondage. For those averse to devotional service, merging into the Brahman effulgence is a kind of punishment." The Bhattacārya continued, "The impersonalists who do not accept the transcendental form of Lord Sri Krishna, and the demons who are always engaged in blaspheming and fighting with him, are punished by being merged into the Brahman effulgence. But that doesn't happen to the person engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. There are 5 kinds of liberation: Salokya, Samipya, Sarupya, Sarshti, and Sajuya. Salokya means that after material liberation, one is promoted to the planet where the Supreme Personality of Godhead resides. Samipya means remaining an associate of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sarupya means attaining a 4-handed form exactly like that of the Lord. Sarshti means attaining opulences like those of the Supreme Lord. And Sajuya means merging into the Brahman effulgence of the Lord. These are the 5 types of liberation. If there is a chance to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, a pure devotee sometimes accepts the Salokya, Sarupya, Samipya or Sarshti forms of liberation, but never Sajuya, that is merging into the Lord. A pure devotee does not like even to hear about Sajuya Mukti, which has inspired him with fear and hatred. Indeed, the pure devotee would rather go to hell than merge into the effulgence of the Lord. Sarvabhauma Bhattacārya continued, "There are 2 kinds of Sajuya Mukti, merging into the Brahman effulgence and merging into the personal body of the Lord. Merging into the Lord's body is even more abominable than merging into his effulgence." Sarvabhauma Bhattacārya concluded, "Even though he is offered all kinds of liberation, the pure devotee does not accept them. He is fully satisfied, engaging in the service of the Lord." Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, "The word Muktipade has another meaning. Muktipada directly refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All kinds of liberation exist under the feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore he is known as Muktipada. According to another meaning, Mukti is the 9th subject, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the shelter of liberation. Since I can understand Krishna according to these 2 meanings," Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "What point is there in changing the verse?" Sarvabhauma Bhattacārya replied, "I was not able to give that reading to the verse. Although your explanation is correct, It should not be used because there is ambiguity in the words mukti pada. The word mukti refers to 5 kinds of liberation. Usually, its direct meaning conveys the idea of becoming one with the Lord. The very sound of the word mukti immediately induces hate and fear. But when we say the word bhakti, we naturally feel transcendental bliss within the mind. Upon hearing this explanation, the Lord began to laugh and with great pleasure immediately embraced Sarvabhauma Bhattācārya very firmly. Indeed, that very person who was accustomed to reading and teaching Mayavada philosophy was now even hating the word mukti. This was possible only by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As long as it does not turn iron into cold by its touch, no one can recognize an unknown stone to be a touchstone. Upon seeing transcendental Vaishnavism in Sarvabhauma Bhattacārya, everyone could understand that Lord Chaitanya was none other than the son of Nanda Maharaj Krishna. After this incident, all the inhabitants of Jagannath Puri, headed by Kashi Mishra, came to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Later, I shall describe how Sarvabhauma Bhattacārya always engaged in the service of the Lord. I shall also describe in full detail how Sarvabhauma Bhattacārya perfectly rendered service to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by offering him alms. If one hears with faith and love these pastimes concerning Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's meeting with Sarvabhauma Bhattacārya, he very soon is freed from the net of speculation and fruitive activities and attains the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I Kṛṣṇadāsa narrate Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta, following in their footsteps. So, here ends Madhya-līlā, chapter 6 of Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta. So it's almost 8, so we stop here. Jai Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta ki jai. Jai Śrīla Kṛṣṇadāsa Kavirāja Gosvāmī Maharaj ki jai. Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Gurudev, Jai Guru Maharaj. Prabhu, you will please sing?
Oh, sing? Oh, okay. You're not going to read the other.
Because it's 8 o'clock and we have a lot of service to do.
Hariyavaya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Namaha.
Hariyaya Nama Krishna Yaravaya Namaha.
Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Kavirāja Ki Jai. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharva Govinda Sundar Ju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivāja Kavirāja Asatar Sata Shishimad. Shri Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Gosvāmī Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivāja Kavirāja Asatar Sata Shishimad. Shri Bhakti Shri Dev Gosvāmī Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivāja Kavirāja Asatar Sata Shishimad. Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai. Jai Om Prishapad Śrīla Gaurika Sarvadas Babiji Maharaj ki jai. Jai Om Prishapad Śrīla Satchidananda Śrīla Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Jai Om Prishapad Śrīla Jagannath Das Babiji Maharaj ki jai. Jai Shri Rupanuka Guruvarga ki jai. Namacharya Śrīla Haridas Thakur ki jai. Śrīla A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Shri Baladev Vijayabhushana ki jai. Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Prabhu ki jai. Shri Narottam Shamananda Srinivasa Acharya Prabhu ki jai. Shri Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. Shri Kṛṣṇadāsa Kavirāja ki jai. All the 6 Gosvāmīs of Vrindavan ki jai. Sarvabhauma Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Sarvabhauma Shri Mahaprabhu ki jai. Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopanashami Kunrada Kunkiri Govardhan Gopalju ki jai. Shri Lakshmi Varaha Devi ki jai. Shri Bhakti Vigna Vinashaya Sri Nityananda ki jai. Bhakti Prabhupada Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. Tulsi Maharani ki jai. Tulsi Parikma ki jai. Ganga Janamati ki jai. Grantavaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Caitanya-caritāmṛta ki jai. Vishwa Vaishnava Vajrasavar ki jai. Akrama Arja Caitanya ki jai. Tadya Sakama ki jai. Shri Caitanya Sarvabhauma ki jai. Vishwa Vyapi Tadya Sakama ki jai. Shri Dharmaipur ki jai. Shri Napadvip ki jai. Vrindavan Purushottam Dham ki jai. Baladev Vijay Jagannath ki jai. Shri Govinda Kun ki jai. Shri Sadarshva Ganga Kavirāja ki jai. Samaveta Vaishnava Madhya-līlā ki jai. Samaveta Bhakti ki jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. All the assembled devotees ki jai. All the devotees all over the world ki jai. Jai Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Nitya Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Satya Devi.